Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. We were looking at list and today we are going to see how we can perform matrix transposition and matrix addition with the help of nested list. So without wasting time, let us move to the Python IDLE. For this program, I will be taking mat_1 as a variable for my matrix 1, and of course that will be a nested list, and 4, 5 and 6. So that's simple. So this is nothing but a nested list which will be acting as a matrix which is having 2 rows and 3 columns. And again I will be taking another matrix which I will be taking as elements 20, 30, comma 40, 50 and 60, so the addition will be visible properly, right? So here what we are going to actually do is we will be using for loops for accessing each elements of our matrix. So we will be taking range. See, in the first for loop, what we are going to take, we will be talking about the rows, right? So here I will be taking the rows as length of matrix 1, right? This is the length of matrix 1, which is having 2 elements, that is this one, the one first element, and this is the second element. So total number of elements, total number of elements will be equal to the number of rows, right? So I will be taking length as matrix 1 as my range, right? Now for j in range, now how we are going to actually determine that what is the column values, right? So the first for loop is representing the rows and the second one will going to represent the column values, right? So the columns will be equal to the number of elements which are present over here, right? So we can simply take it as matrix underscore 1 and its first element, right? Because we know that it actually acts as a nested list, right? So I can take the length of the first element, that is going to determine the number of columns, right? So that will be representing the number of columns over here and 1 colon, right? So here I will be performing the addition. So for adding, what I will be requiring, I will be requiring another matrix called add, and each element of that I am actually declaring as 0, because 0 is the identity for addition, right? So what we are going to do for these particular for loops, add I j means each element of add will be now equal to first matrix's element, right? Each element plus the mat 2's each element, right? And what we can do over here is we can actually call the same for loop. No need to change this. If you want to change this, you can do it add also, no issues, but that will going to give you the same answer because the dimensions are the same. And what we can do over here is we can print the value of add I and j, right? And I can take as a string, that a space, and here I will be writing an empty print statement. and to show that this is the addition. So after addition, the matrix is something like this, right? So what we have done over here is we have just simply added the two matrices, right? Let us see if we are getting the correct answer or not. So on running, you can see that after addition, yes, you can see that the values are added, perfectly. See here, 1 is added to 10, that means the answer is over here 11, then 2 to 20, 22, 3 to 30, 33, 4 to 40, 44, 55, and then 66. That is how actually we can do matrix addition. So that was our first code, right? Let us just print it, partition it by dash, and let it be 20, let it be more 40 times, right? And now what I want to do is I want to transpose the matrices, right? So for that I will be actually printing matrix 1. I will be taking matrix 1 over here, print before, or let us say original matrix, right? So we are talking about the original matrix. So here I will be considering another matrix. So let me just copy the matrix over here and make it matrix 3, and let me just add some more elements to it. Let 7, 8 and 9, right? So here, right? So what I'm going to do over here is I will be copying the same code, right, like this, because I want to print the matrices first, and in place of matrix 1 I will be changing it to matrix 3, right? That is very fine. And now I want to actually print this matrix, so I will be just copying the print statement as it is, but in place of add I will be writing mat underscore 3. That means I want to print this matrix. This is my new matrix. Now for transposition, what I'm going to do is again copy paste the same code, differentiate it with the help of a print statement, and this print should be out of every for loop. And in print statement I will be writing transposed matrix, right? So this is the transposed matrix, right? The only thing for transposition is what we actually do in transposition. If I explain, the rows becomes your columns, right? And your columns becomes your rows. So that is transposition. So just swap these two indices. So in place of I will be changing it to j, and a j will be changed to I, right? So it is that simple, right? So that is how we actually do transposition, right? So now let us run the code and see what we get as an output. Here, so this I have explained you before also, that it was addition, and this is how we actually did string multiplication to make a partition. Then the original matrix, which is printed like this, and here you can say that the rows are now becoming the columns, right? So this is the column value 3, 2 and 1, 2 and 3, right? That is how we did matrix transposition and matrix addition. You can also perform matrix subtraction as we did addition in this particular program. So I hope that you understood how we can actually use list for matrix operations. And for more such videos and programs, stay tuned to my channel. Thank you.